There's a kind of defeat that happens before anything actually goes wrong. You feel it in a meeting you haven't walked into yet. You feel it in a conversation you keep rehearsing in your head, always ending badly. Long before the world says no, something inside you already agreed with it. That's the real battle, not the rejection, not the setback, the quiet moment. You accept, without saying it out loud, that the win probably belongs to somebody else. Marcus Aurelius knew that feeling better than most men in history. He ran an empire from a war tent, buried children, watched friends turn into strangers, and still found a way to sit down at night and write to himself. Not for an audience, not for history, just to keep his own mind from becoming the thing that finally broke him. What follows are 7 ways of thinking he leaned on, and men like Epictetus and Seneca after him. Not tricks, not slogans, just a way of training the mind so it stops rehearsing defeat and starts expecting to win, what you make it mean. Epictetus told his students something people still misunderstand today. Nothing that happens to you has the power to hurt you on its own. What hurts is the meaning you attach to it. Picture 2 men getting the same rejection letter. The first reads it as proof. Proof he's not good enough. Proof the door is shut for good. He carries that verdict into every room he walks into for months. The second man reads the same words and treats them as information, nothing more. A closed door just means this wasn't the road. He asks a different question. What is this trying to show me? That single shift in the question changes the rest of his year. Marcus wrote to himself constantly that the pain of an external thing is never really about the thing. It's about the judgment stacked on top of it, and a judgment can be put down the same way it was picked up. Look at anyone whose life you admire, and you'll find a string of moments that looked like failure while they were happening. The moment wasn't what decided their story. The meaning they refused to give it did. So, watch yourself this week. Before you let a setback become a verdict, ask if the event actually ended anything, or if it's just your interpretation doing the damage. Your life won't be built from what happens to you. It'll be built from what you decide it means. Decide before the proof shows up. Most people wait for evidence before they let themselves feel sure. They wait for the raise before they act like someone who's good at their job. They wait for the applause before they trust their own voice. They've quietly handed their confidence to the future and expect it to be handed back with interest. It never works that way. Conviction has to come first. Cato the Younger never let the Senate's opinion decide who he was. While other men rewrote their principles to match whoever was in power that week, Cato chose his character before Rome gave him a single reason to keep it. They called him stubborn. History remembers him and forgets the men who mocked him. That's usually how it goes. The world recognizes conviction only after it's already changed something. Marcus put it plainly. A man's life is shaped by his thoughts, not by circumstance, not by luck. Long before anything is visible on the outside, a decision is already under construction on the inside. Think of a builder standing on an empty lot. Nothing stands there yet, but in his mind, the whole structure is already finished. He doesn't wait for the walls to prove the plan was right. The walls show up because he believed the plan enough to lay the first brick. Certainty isn't arrogance. Arrogance stops learning. Certainty keeps learning and simply refuses to quit. So, ask yourself honestly, how many things have you postponed because you wanted proof before you'd commit? The proof was always going to come after, never before. The obstacle isn't in your way. It is the way. Marcus wrote a line people quote without really absorbing it. What stands in the way becomes the way. It sounds like a nice idea until you're the one standing in front of the obstacle. How does a loss become progress? How does a hard season become strength? Think about a blacksmith working a piece of steel. If the steel could feel, it would swear the fire was trying to destroy it. The hammer keeps striking, nothing about it feels gentle. But the fire isn't destroying the steel, it's burning off everything too weak to survive being a blade. The shape doesn't happen despite the fire, it happens because of it. Seneca wrote that hardship strengthens the mind, the same way labor strengthens the body. Muscle doesn't grow from comfort, it grows from resistance. The mind works the same way, whether we like the comparison or not. Take away the prison years from Nelson Mandela's story, the years of exile from Seneca's own life, the repeated failures from Edison's workshop, and you erase the very thing that built what people later admired. We love the outcome and skip over the process that made it possible. The tired mind asks, "Why is this happening to me?" The trained mind asks a harder question, "What is this building in me that comfort never could?" Not every wound closes quickly. Stoicism never promised an easy road. It promised that nothing is wasted unless you're the one who wastes it. The next time life puts a mountain in front of you, remember mountains build the legs that climb them. The obstacle was never blocking the path. Sometimes it is the only path there is, the kind of quiet they can't touch. There's a version of this story about a man walking into a trial where the verdict was decided before he ever opened his mouth. Everyone in the room expected fear. Instead, he stood there with a stillness that unsettled the very people trying to break him. They could take a lot from him. They couldn't take his mind. People who need to provoke you aren't chasing truth, they're chasing control. The second they succeed in rattling you, they start to believe they own something inside you. Epictetus put it simply, if someone can make you angry whenever they choose, they've become your master without you ever signing anything. Every time your peace depends on someone else's apology, their approval, or their mood, you've quietly handed over the keys. Marcus ran an empire full of betrayal and criticism and still reminded himself daily that another person's character is theirs to own. His response was the only thing that belonged to him. Picture a deep lake before sunrise. Someone throws in a stone. The surface trembles for a second, then settles, because the water is deeper than the disturbance. Now picture a shallow puddle. One pebble, and it's mud everywhere. Most people react like the puddle. The goal is to become the lake. Silence gets mistaken for weakness by people who've never met real strength, because they can't imagine power that doesn't need to announce itself. The next time someone offers you a trade, your peace for their approval, remember you never have to take that deal. Move before you feel ready. There's a quiet lie almost everyone tells themselves. I'll start once I feel ready. Wait for the fear to leave first. Wait for the perfect moment. Years go by, and the version of you that was supposed to show up never does, not because time ran out, but because movement never started. Zeno of Citium lost everything in a shipwreck. He didn't arrive in Athens with money or a plan. He wandered into a bookshop with nothing but a mind that refused to treat the wreck as the end of his story. That single afternoon became the beginning of Stoicism itself. If he'd waited to feel ready, none of it happens. Fear rarely says don't, it says not yet. Prepare a little more. Wait for a better sign. Learn one more thing first. None of that sounds dangerous in the moment. Repeated enough, it becomes the entire architecture of a wasted decade. Picture a soldier standing at the edge of a field before the fighting starts. His hands shake. Every instinct says, run. He steps forward anyway because discipline has learned to outrun emotion. Courage was never the absence of fear. It's simply refusing to let fear hold the map. Marcus reminded himself that we suffer more in imagination than we ever do in reality. Most defeats happen only in rehearsal, inside a mind replaying a disaster that never actually shows up. Whatever conversation you've been avoiding, whatever step you've been circling for months, the first honest move will teach you more than another year of preparing ever could. train it before the world tests it. Musonius Rufus, the man who taught Epictetus, warned his students about a specific trap. Knowledge without practice is just entertainment. You can quote philosophy beautifully and still fold the first time real difficulty shows up, because the world doesn't test what you know, it tests what you've actually practiced. An archer doesn't wait for the arrow flying at him to learn how to aim. He repeats the same motion thousands of times in an empty field until his hands stop needing instructions. When the moment finally arrives, the body simply remembers what quiet repetition already taught it. Most people try to build patience only after chaos shows up. They try courage only once. Fear is already in the room. That's like building a shield in the middle of the fight instead of the years before it. Your private habits are quietly writing your public future. Every promise you keep to yourself, no matter how small, teaches your own mind that your word means something. Every excuse you refuse to make weakens the voice that's been negotiating you down to average for years. Think of two gardens side by side. One gets tended, daily weeds pulled while they're still small. The other gets ignored until the work is 10 times harder than it needed to be. Your mind runs on the same soil. Marcus never assumed one good day meant the job was finished. Every evening, he went back to his own notebook, checking not everyone else's behavior, but the condition of his own thinking. That kind of honesty is a form of maintenance nobody sees, right up until the day it's the only thing holding you together, the view from higher ground. In the middle of a war, with disease moving through Rome and grief following him everywhere, Marcus practiced something that sounds strange until you actually try it. When fear or sorrow got too heavy, he'd force his mind to rise first above the city, then above the empire, until Rome looked like a single point on the map. Nothing about the war changed, only the size it appeared to be. Most people don't lose because of one real failure. They lose because they mistake one hard chapter for the whole book. One rejection convinces them nobody will ever choose them. One bad year convinces them the good years were never coming. Stand 2 inches from a large painting, and all you'll see is one dark, ugly-looking brushstroke. Step back, and that same stroke becomes the shadow that gives the whole piece its depth. Some parts of your life only make sense from a distance. Seneca wrote some of his most enduring work while in exile, stripped of everything that used to matter to Roman society. It looked like the end of his relevance. It turned out to be the years that outlasted the empire itself. Ask yourself honestly, will tonight's problem still matter in 5 years? Usually the answer is no. And yet we hand years of peace over to things time was already erasing on its own. An old sailor crossing rough water doesn't steer by the waves. He steers by the stars, because the stars hold still while everything underneath him moves. Let your principles be the stars. The water will always be rough sometimes. That was never the part you needed to control. None of this makes hardship disappear. There will still be days that feel like proof you should quit. What changes is whether that day gets to define the rest of your story, or whether you simply keep walking the way a disciplined mind always has. Marcus Aurelius never won because he ruled an empire. He won because the empire never got to rule his mind. That's still available to anyone willing to build it, one honest decision at a time.